Yeah.
I'm going to actually read to you the passage that our whole series is going to be focused on. And if anybody wants to look it up in your Bibles, it is Luke 6:46 through 49. And it says, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and do what I say? I will show you what he is like who comes to me and hears my words and puts them into practice. He is like a man building a house who dug down deep and laid the foundation on rock. When a flood came, the torrent struck that house, but could not shake it, because it was well built. But the one who hears my words and does not put them into practice is like a man who built a house on the ground without a foundation. The moment the torrent struck that house, it collapsed and its destruction was complete." So the first part of that passage is like the boy who built his house, or actually, that movie was kind of like the Three Little Pigs. I don't know if you guys caught that. Okay. So the third person, he built his house on the rock, according to this verse. The other two built theirs on the sand. And when those things happened, they didn't know what to do because they did not have a good foundation. So in that case, they felt lost. But tonight I'm actually going to be talking to you about chasing your dreams. Now, God has put something in all of you, and you may not realize it yet, but he's put in you either like a dream or desire, like what do you want to be when you grow up kind of thing. He's given each of you one of those. And he wants you to follow those dreams. But in order to do that, you have to remember that no matter what happens, you have to keep your foundation on the rock. Because if you don't, when a storm comes, everything's going to get washed away and you're going to lose sight of that dream. He also wants you to keep that foundation on the rock because no matter what happens, he's going to use you. And you may not understand it now, which when I was your age, I had no clue. And that's okay, because I'm just now figuring it out. But you guys are going to learn that keeping your foundation on the rock no matter what happens is the most important thing that you guys could do with your life. Now, to kind of illustrate this, I have two examples for you. The first one, y'all are going to laugh about, but it's about Tim Tebow. Okay?
Yeah, dude.
I love him.
He has his foundation built on the rock, and you all know that. Now, he was born in the Philippines. His parents were missionaries, and he actually, there almost wasn't going to be a Tim Tebow. His mom got very sick during childbirth, and him and his mom almost didn't make it. And also because they were in the Philippines, they didn't have, the medical stuff that we have here. And as you've seen, as he's gone on in his, as he's gotten older, God gave him this gift of football. Now, it's not necessarily, a gift of being in church or being a missionary, it's kind of, out there, but he gave him this gift of football. And he's using him now to use that gift to reach thousands. I mean, any of you have ever seen anything on TV, anytime he goes to speak anywhere, thousands and thousands of people show up. I mean, it's like, oh my goodness. One man can do that much, and God is using him.
Yeah.
But through all that he went through, from the time he was young and started playing football until now, his foundation has never wavered, and he's always had his house built on a rock. Now, my second example for you is going to kind of tell you a little bit of my story to help you more understand. When I was like 10 or 11 years old, my dad and I got into racing cars. As most of you know, I race cars. And so I was 10 or 11 years old when I got into it. Now, my dad didn't have a car at the time. We were working with some friends, and helping them with their car, but I would go with them to practice every Thursday. It never failed. I was always there. I wasn't allowed in the pits at the time though, because you had to be 14. So every Thursday I went, and the more I went, I was like, this is what I have got to do with my life. I was like, I don't care how I do it, what I have to do to get there, that's what I'm going to do. And it didn't hit me until probably about a year ago that there was a reason that God put that dream and desire in my life. And I'm just now figuring out what it is. Then when I turned 14, they changed the pit entry age from 16 to 14. So now I could get in the pits. And also, I could actually drive a car. Now, I got the bright idea in my head, I want to drive. So, nobody thought I was going to do it. They're like, okay, we'll just set her up. My dad bought a $100 car from the junkyard. And if any of you have seen the race cars, everything's stripped out of it. There's nothing in there that was original. All the seats, all the carpet, the dashboard, the stereo, everything is gone. All the plastic. So we had to take that car and we had to strip it of everything. And I had the task of doing it by myself. And so I was out there every time we were working on the cars. And one day we went there and it was raining. But it was raining like it has been the past, couple weeks, where it was just crazy. And that was the night they found out that I was serious and I wasn't joking around about this. Because I went out there in the rain and was working on this car. And that's when they all knew, oh man, we got a problem. Because they all thought I was going to quit. So as time goes by, I'm working on this car, and we find out the track that we were racing at was closing. And we built that car in a matter of 2 to 3 weeks because we had to get there, we had to get me on the track. So I ended up making like 5 races before the track closed. Now as the time has all gone by with this, I always went to church. My dad always had the rule, if you go racing on Saturday night, you better be at church on Sunday or there's going to be no more racing. You better be at church on Sunday or there's going to be no more racing. So I was always going to church. My foundation was always, built on that rock because I knew that I needed God to get through everything. Then as I got older, I got into high school, and I still kept racing. I had some trials come my way. And it almost made me stop with my dream of doing the racing stuff. Just some of the stuff that happened. I had lost focus of it. I didn't want to do it anymore. There was just a lot of things that happened, and I actually quit for some time. But regardless of all that, my foundation still stayed on the rock. And my house wasn't very big, but my foundation was still there. As time went by, I got back into the racing again. Some of the things had gotten sorted out, and I got into college. Now, all of you are going to be going there soon. That's kind of a rough time because you all kind of know what you want to do, but you don't know what to do to get to that, to your dream or your desire. And that's what I fell into. With racing, you can't go to college to be a race car driver. You just can't. And, I got so frustrated, I'll be honest, I was so frustrated. I was like, I know I want to do this, I got to do this, and, some things happened. I ended up joining the military. I was in the military for 2 years. I was in the Air Force, for anyone who doesn't know. And then I had to get out for certain reasons. I was very sick for a long time. And through this whole time, even all the trials, even the losing focus, I never lost that dream to do the racing, never once. And at the same time too, my foundation stayed on that rock. So I came home, and most of you guys have known me since then, since I came home, and God has opened up the door for me to have a second chance to go after my dream. Through all these years of doing this, God has put this desire on my heart to do this. I don't know what it's for yet. I don't know why, but I know that this is from Him, and that, like Tim Tebow, He's going to use me in some way with this racing to witness to people and bring people to God. Now, I say all that to tell you guys, God has put something in you. And people along the way are going to tell you, that's a stupid dream, or you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't be following that. Don't listen to any of them. There's a reason that you're feeling what you're feeling to do this. There is. Like I said, I didn't find it out until like a year ago. You guys, you may know it now, you may not find it out. That's okay. You're going to have time to do it. But you're just, really the main thing, you got to remember, like the kid in this story, he kept his foundation on that rock. His parents were getting divorced. I mean, I never had to go through that, but I know a lot of you have, and I know that that's a terrible thing to go through. And you didn't know what to do. But keeping your foundation on the rock is what helps get you through it. And that's what's going to help you get through life, and it's going to help you achieve these dreams. Because I know that God has put something, because there's one thing I know, my dad, as long as I can remember, always told me, you need to chase your dreams. He always encouraged me, go after your dreams. Just do what you can to do them. Because you have this one life. And why not do it doing something that you love? Because that's really what's most important. God put you on this earth to do something you love. He doesn't want you to be miserable. That's no fun. But, He's giving you all something really to just make your life amazing, as well as reach others. And I just really hope that you guys, as you go along in school, you really can grasp that and hold on to it and be like, I'm going after these things. I'm going after my goals. I'm going to do this because it's important. So that's kind of it for my sermon part of this. As most of you know, this is probably going to be my last Wednesday here. I am moving to North Carolina next Friday to go to college. I'm actually going to be going to college to get a motorsports management degree. So I'm hoping to work in NASCAR after. So as you can see, God is really, letting me get to my goals and my dreams. But I'm going to tell you this. I am really going to miss you guys. Like, you have no idea. I know. When I came here, I've been home like a year and a half, and a lot of you know I came home and I was struggling majorly. I was still very sick. I had just gotten released from the military early. I'm not actually supposed to have gotten out till this October. So my plans got completely changed. And through all this time, even when I was a mess, because I haven't been easy, you guys have loved me no matter what I did. And I cannot thank any of you enough for that. You have no idea how much that has touched my life in such a great way. I mean, you really have. Even the ones I don't know. You all have really come into my life and helped me more than you know. And I know you guys, you guys don't get praised for that stuff often. You all come to church and you're doing your thing. And you don't know if you're really reaching anybody's lives. But I can honestly say you all have really touched mine. And it's just been wonderful to work with you guys and see you guys grow like you have, and I just am so thankful to you guys for everything. Did you think I was almost gonna get in that wreck?
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I was like, no, I'm not getting in this wreck.
Surrounded by your grace, all my fears swept